Fresh off of completing our Imperial Star Destroyer, today I'm turning my attention to another popular Star Wars ship, a lucky Lego find that I came across at the very beginning of yard sale season 2025. And I actually found the footage of me getting this, so I'll roll that now, and then we'll be back and we'll get into today's Lego Star Wars adventure. Whoa!
That was empty.
Lego! We got the Millennium Falcon too, and the X-Wing. No prices on anything though.
I love that. I like the X-Wing too. Do you have
Oh,
these?
$50. I do like the Millennium Falcon though. That's pretty sick.
It's got some space dust on it.
It does. I've never owned a Millennium Falcon, but I do now. 20.
Don't. Clark does.
Okay, maybe. $20 Millennium Falcon. Got this thrown in for $5. I'm pretty sure that minifig's worth something. But regardless, that's a pretty good score. No minifigs with this. He said it's mostly complete, maybe a few pieces missing, which I'm sure that I have.
Do you want to put it in my quarter tote to keep it safe?
This is not going to go well, Deb.
How do you know?
The drop test is about to happen. Oh God, who puts Lego inside of a tote?
We'll keep it safe.
Okay, that's about as far as it's going in
We're
there.
going to put it in the back, or we're going to do it?
Good Lord. She just put it in there. Let's leave it. It's fine.
I'm not taking that out.
It's fine. Just leave it. Leave it. A short 7 months later, but here is our new to us Millennium Falcon in the studio, sitting here just the way that I found it at the yard sale, with dirt, dust, missing pieces, and all. If you're curious what set this is 7965, which came out back in 2011. This has 1,229 parts, some of which I don't think are there. Obviously, it's missing some things that I'm hoping that I have in my collection, but it did have 6 minifigs originally as well, and they are not included. I'd have to go through our Star Wars figs to see which of those we might have, because we've got a bit of a collection, but I thought for $20, this was a pretty good buy. If you're curious what this actually sells for, like if you were to try to get it on eBay, it's about $70 without the figs. So not the greatest purchase I've ever made, but that other set that I bought, the Clone and Jedi Battle Pack, that ended up selling on eBay for $40 plus shipping. So we basically got all of our money back at this point. I just wanted to open this up just to see what's inside. And I was thinking maybe I'd get lucky and the minifigs just be chilling in there, but they are not. That is what it looks like though, as it stands currently. But it's about to change. My plan for this ship is to complete it, and to do that we might have to go a little backwards before we go forwards, because what I'm going to do is break this entire thing down, and then we're going to inventory it on Bricklink. And if you want to see how to do that, you just click on Set Inventory right there, and then you can go down through and inventory the entire thing and see what parts that you have, what you need. Ideally, some of these would be in my collection. If not, we might have to do a Bricklink order. But while that's happening, I'm going to clean all of these pieces, and then we can put it all back together, hopefully complete, and I'll be able to show this off to you, and it'll be completely awesome. Even if we don't have the minifigs, I'm just excited to have a Millennium Falcon, because I do not have one. This is my first Millennium Falcon, and the fact that it was a $20 yard sale find is pretty darn cool. So let's go ahead and start the process, I suppose. We're going to break this whole thing down. If I really wanted to, I could probably just visually inspect this and make sure it's all there and just add on pieces. But being that I've never built a Millennium Falcon before, I kind of want to have that experience. Plus, this set, as you could probably tell, is very dusty and dirty, and I want to run this through my ultrasonic cleaner. And to do that, I have to break it down in some way anyway, because this is too big to fit in there. So we're going to do it the old-fashioned way and tear this entire set apart, only to rebuild it again. And it'll be nice and fresh. We'll have hopefully all the pieces. Like I said, it's looking pretty good, and I'm hoping what is missing from this, if anything, I can pull from my collection. But if not, we'll eventually have this thing all together. It'd just be great if I could do it without having to ship an order, because I'd like to have this done as soon as possible. And if it just is a matter of cleaning this up, oh my gosh, you can see the difference there. Let me zoom in. You can see right where that plate was on top of there in terms of how dirty the sides are. So yeah, this definitely needs a good cleaning. And maybe I could have negotiated that in the price. I felt like 20 bucks was pretty good. And when I was watching that footage back that you guys just saw, tear this apart first, I was thinking like, man, I should have bought like everything he had there, but the prices were really high, especially for yard sale prices. You tend to get a little spoiled at yard sales, and his prices were probably they're like eBay. But I did find that little like sneaky one that he was thinking that maybe was only worth $5, but turned out to be a pretty valuable set. And I only knew that because I had gotten it before in a yard sale and sold it. So sometimes you can find things, if somebody, I don't want to say catch them slipping, but sometimes you can find some deals out in the wild and not hurt anyone's feelings about it. Everybody kind of wins, and especially when you end up with essentially a free Millennium Falcon, or even more so, like paid for, not only getting it for free, but paid an extra 20 bucks Millennium Falcon. I'm still in the process here and starting to have regrets breaking this down. That's a lot of parts that we got to not only inventory but clean, but then put back together. But I guess I am glad that I'm doing this, because as we go in here, you can see just how filthy even the inside of this was. Like, there was a lot of cracks in the top where those pieces come over there. But yeah, it's like, it's disgusting. In fact, like I just want to wash my hands right now, but we're still working our way through this thing. And it's pretty crazy. Like, this is going to be quite the build. Here's the bottom. It's like all Technic. That's on the bottom. Oh, there's a price tag. 25 cents. Now that would have been one heck of a deal on this. That would have been crazy. But yeah, we're getting there. I just wanted to document this part, because holy smokes. That's this is mess around. I'm like already contemplating getting Clarkman involved. Like, hey buddy, you ready to build your next set? Because I think this is definitely one that you could take on with multiple people, being that like you're just kind of placing the same thing kind of around it. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. In the meantime, I'll break this the rest of the way down and show you the death and destruction of a Millennium Falcon. And just like that, our Millennium Falcon is reduced to a pile of parts. You can see everything that went into this, all kinds of gray. We got a little bit of tan in there, a couple red pieces blue, but by far it's all gray plates, which is to be expected. We were making fun of the Star Destroyer for that reason, but we were just triggering the Star Wars detectors. The next thing I'm going to do here, though, this is the important part. If you're going to inventory sets, you need to separate everything by color. So all of the light gray goes in one spot, the dark bluish gray, I'm sorry, Lego peeps. Here's an interesting piece. This is probably the coolest piece from this entire lot. I'm going to go through all of these parts one by one in inventory, everything that's in here, just to see if it's all here, and if not, what we're missing, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do there, which is hopefully finding them in our collection. Got everything sorted out, and if you look at these piles over here, nothing too crazy, very doable, but then you look over here and it feels very daunting. There is so much to go through here that all needs inventoried, and just to go through this, I feel like is going to take me a while, but it needs done, these pieces need cleaned, and the set needs rebuilt. So we're in it now. So let's go ahead and work on it. And we'll see how, oh, I see an infiltrator here. We'll get this done. I do have the helper with me now. Not the Clarkman, but we got the Mellow Cat. Could use her for some inventorying. She'd probably move some pieces around for me here and there. Would it be helpful? No. But is it nice to have a cat in there with you? Of course. Yeah. It's a little while later, and you may notice that my gray pieces look slightly more organized, and that's because I went all in on doing the hardest part first. And the good news is I was only missing 2 pieces out of all of those. These 2, they needed a total of 8 for each of them. I only had 7, so now we've got everything together for all the gray pieces, at least the light gray. We got to do the rest of these. So I'll be back in the next clip, which might actually be tomorrow. As you can see, it's now dark outside. I'll come back. It's going to be a multi-day adventure. It's now the next day, and I'm happy to announce that our Millennium Falcon is officially inventoried. I left you off last night with all of the gray pieces all accounted for, and today I went through all the other colors that were left, and we got very lucky with this. The only pieces that were missing are the ones that you see in this pile right here, and all of these were very easily found in my collection. Nothing crazy here, no printed pieces or pieces like that. It was all just simple stuff, so I feel very lucky with that, because I thought it'd be way worse. And now we have all of our parts together here to properly build this up, but first, as you can see here, we need to get these things all cleaned up. To do that, we're going to use my Ultrasonic cleaner. This is a Creeworks, I forget what the size is, but I've made several videos on this if you're curious. But the way this works is you fill it up with water that you heat up. I obviously don't want it to be 50 degrees Celsius. I think I do like 34, somewhere in that range. And then the way that this works is I fill one of these bags up with pieces. You put it in there, and then this ultrasonically cleans your Lego parts. So basically sends sound vibrations and knocks that dirt and dust off. So this should do all of the work that we need to do to get these parts clean, and it's super easy. I'm just gonna have to do a couple rounds of this because, as you can see, this is not big enough to support a Millennium Falcon. There's a little bit of strategery here. You know how I have these all separated into color? I'd like to keep it that way, so I'm going to clean them by color and keep them separated. That way we don't end up having to do this all over again when we go to build this, because I find that building by color is the easiest thing for me, at least in my brain, to work around. We'll start with these parts that I have on the table first, and the dark grays are calling me. These are some of the dirtiest ones, at least it's visible on here. And if you want to see my Millennium Falcon dust collection, the camera doesn't even want you to see it. You can kind of see just how dirty these are, and a lot of the pieces inside of it were dirty too. You can kind of tell this thing sat somewhere for a very long time without being dusted, although I'm not one to judge because I've got quite a few sets on display down here, and they went a long time without any kind of cleaning at all. So I'm kind of getting better at that, trying to make it a habit to go around and clean things, and I guess curate my collection a little better too. We're working on that. In fact, the Star Destroyer that you see behind me, the one that set up this video yesterday for me, a few minutes ago for you, that's going to be replacing some things on the shelf up there. Just kind of, you know, taste change over time. You always want to have, if you have limited space, you want to have the ability to look at new things. So that's the plan, and this will go on display somewhere here, although it's kind of a big set. We'll figure out a way to make it happen. There's all of our dark gray pieces, and that's enough to do a batch right there, just to allow some space in between all of them. That way they can get cleaned. And we'll take those over to the cleaner now and get these things going. We're getting close to temperature, but running it will absolutely get it up there. I use a little bit of dish soap in here, just like that. You don't need too much of it. We'll get a little extra since these are so dusty. And then this has a little basket in it. Some people joke that this is like almost like a deep fryer, you know, so the basket's there. And I like having the basket just so it keeps it kind of up a little bit, so the parts at the bottom aren't sitting on the bottom. So we just put it in there like that, kind of make sure it's all underwater, like so. And I just put these inside. You take the lid, put that on there like that. And I just run these. 5 minutes is what they put as the standard. I usually do 7, and we'll hit the power button. And when I do that, the audio is going to get destroyed. So just take my word for it that we're going to be cleaning right now. I'm going to assume that you can hear what I'm saying right now because I have a microphone on and we're pretty far away, but I have 2 more of these bags, as I mentioned. And the next run, I think we'll do all of these pieces, and we might as well just do the black pieces as well because I think that will fit in there nicely. And then this, that'll be the mother load, and that'll be our last one. And just like that, our first round is done. Water's nice and warm. Our piece is hopefully nice and clean. Here's a look at what the water looks like. Now you can definitely see a little bit of dirt in there, but I usually run this a couple times before I empty it out and redo the whole thing. So we can easily do the next round, which is the colorful pieces, and the black ones are in there as well. So we'll put that in, and we'll do another 7. What I do over here is I give this a good rinse, just in case there's any soap left on there. And that is pretty much all it takes. So you're just doing this over and over again until all the pieces are clean. This is the part of the video where I'd love to take those wet Lego pieces and dry them out in the sunshine on the deck, but it doesn't look like that's in the cards today. So instead, we're going to plan B. Got a towel out here in our office floor. This has the heat that kind of comes up here and in my mind helps out a little bit with drying these. I actually need this bag because it turns out those light gray pieces I'm gonna have to do in 2 rounds. So we're gonna have a total of 4 for one set. This is a lot of work rebuilding a yard sale Lego set. But we got all those out there, and I just kind of spread these out like this. And they are looking very nice. Looks like my second round is done in here. So we're gonna keep rotating this and doing essentially the same thing over and over until we have all of our parts cleaned up. Just like that, all of the pieces for the Millennium Falcon are cleaned and ready to be built with. Well, once they dry, they will be. It's gonna take a little bit of time for that to happen, but it feels good to be in this this spot that I'm in right now where we're pretty much ready to go. I asked Clarkman about this last night, and he wants to be in on the build, so we'll probably start that tomorrow once these are all dried, and I'll bring you along with me on that process as well. But I think what I'm gonna do is break this video into two, as unsatisfying as that may be. We'll have this be part one, getting it pretty much prepped, and then part two will be the build process, sort of like what we did with the Star Destroyer, only it had all of this backstory with it. But I think it's gonna turn out pretty nice, and it's gonna be pretty neat having a brand new, to us, clean, fully completed Millennium Falcon. I know that's a lot of adjectives for a Lego set, but I've been looking forward to doing this, and it's nice to finally have it in process on a snowy day here in Pennsylvania. We're gonna eventually, in the next video, next time you see us actually, unless I do something crazy in the meantime, we'll have a Millennium Falcon all built up for you so we can all admire it together and thoroughly enjoy it. At least I hope so.